Hi. So, this is going to be a slightly different video than most of my other videos. That is that I'm not going to be talking about manga, which some of you might not like, which I'm alright with. Other, you might like the topic. So, just to say this out loud, uh, my channel isn't always going to be about manga, though a vast majority will be about manga. You can tell by the fact that there's 5 bookshelves behind me. And what you can't see is there's another 4 in this room. So, it's okay that I'm not going to be talking about manga. I've had a long week and I woke up stupidly early this morning to go vote. So, I just wanted to do something that, I could talk about for literally hours, but I'm not going to. And two, talk about something that I have loved almost, if not more, than manga, which is a hard thing to say based solely off of the amount that I have. So it's just good. So one, I love a game. It's a very small game. Maybe you guys have heard about it, maybe you haven't. But it is called Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Specifically, the 5th edition is the technically second one of the editions that I've played, but it is the one that I have the most experience with. The other edition is 3.5. So if you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, it is a tabletop RPG, the TTRPG, that you just, use the rules that are within the books. There's 3 books that you technically need, but you just have it. You follow the rules that are within this book and a few other ones, and you just use the theater of your mind and play a game that can be both serious and funny at the same time, and it is a blast to play, especially if you have the right dungeon master and the right other players at the table. It is the one of the best games that I've ever played, and that is saying something because I really love RPGs. I absolutely love RPGs, but there's been points where I'm just like, I kind of wish that I could do this, or I kind of wish that I could do that, but am unable to because the developers did not factor in every single possibility. Granted, there's sometimes where the dungeon master doesn't factor in every possibility that the person can do. That's where you just go like, sure, let's do it. But yeah, it is a game that I have only been playing for not that long. I want to say I am getting close to the 4th year mark because I started playing 5th edition back in my last year of university, which was 2016. So yeah, and it was around this time that I started playing it in a group. Technically, in August of 2016 is when I fully started playing in that group, and it was a blast for the couple of months before I had to move back to my hometown after I graduated. But and it kind of sucked. I was like, oh man, I don't have any group to play with now, and I really love this game. So I forced my brother, my best friend, and several other friends that I know into getting together and playing this game. And my best friend decided to be the DM because I suck at dungeon mastering or DMing. And I was just like, I can't handle all these people. I can't handle what you people want. And that was only like a few one-shots that I did. That I was just like, I can't do it. But I got some people to play. My brother, who is a little bit older than me, and my best friend, who is essentially like another brother to me. And yeah, I had them start playing, and we are still playing today. In fact, as of recording this, I'm going to be playing a game with them again in the campaign that we're in. And it's just a fun game. I Would definitely recommend it for anyone that wants to play, though it is a little bit challenging to find a group. Like, literally, my group that I have, we usually try to play weekly, and most times it turns out to be bi weekly or monthly or bi monthly. It depends on solely how our schedules work. Because, one, I wish for the love of God that I was able to start playing this when I was younger, but I didn't, and I hate myself for it. I wish that I was able to start playing this game when I was freaking in middle school, high school. Good God, I had so much free time back then. And when I was in college, there were, during my last couple of months, there were so many times where I'm just like, I have one class and absolutely nothing going on. And at some point I'll talk about my college situation there in my university. And oh man, we were able to play so long in so many hours. Like, oh man, I will. So, to tell you how fun D&D is, one, I don't play D&D when I'm drunk anymore. So there's that, because of one situation. So I'm trying to convince people that you should play D&D, and it's a great game. Uh, but there was this one time that I had first started. It was like a few months we've been playing. I joined the group like, I don't know, 2 sessions in, so I was just an easy thing. I was a life domain cleric, a tiefling life domain cleric, so that was an interesting thing. I really like tieflings. Clerics, on the other hand, I'm alright with them, but tieflings I love. I have a few ideas to play more tieflings, but I was the main healer of the group, just being like, okay, who needs healing? Healing. So there was this one time that they're like, hey, you want to come over? We're going to be playing a lot longer. And we started, and we're going to be playing pretty late. We're also getting alcohol. I'm like, cool. At that point, I had just turned 21, and I had only started drinking within a month before that. And I was just like, sure, I have absolutely no idea. At this point, I could have been drinking, but I didn't because of medications that I was on. I was like, I can't drink or else I will be fucked up. But yeah, we went there, we started drinking, we started playing Cards Against Humanity a bit, and then we started getting into the game. We were going through this sort of dungeon type deal where we go in. We have to solve some puzzle. I think if I remember correctly, I had to leave early the previous session because I had to get to class. And I was like, hey guys, I need to get to class. And my character was a little bit behind and came in and we started doing some combat and all that. And we get to a puzzle. Now then, at this point, we've been drinking pretty heavily. I mean, there's been Crown, Guinness, other alcohol just being drank one right after the other. And at that point, that was the most I have ever drank in one go. I was just like, I can't think of anything. And the DM was like, okay, so here's a puzzle. We're going to solve this puzzle. It is a pretty simple puzzle. And me in my inebriated state was just like, what? What? And it was essentially, there were like 3 pedestals and these different orbs, different colored orbs that you had to put in a specific order within the pedestal and a poem. And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't really know. And I was drunk, and not to mention it was like color coded and all that. And this is side part is that I'm colorblind, so I was just like, I don't know. You're saying the what? And he said the colors out loud, but I was just like, I can't. What was the colors that he said? I see the colors on the sheet that he wants us to rearrange, but I, being drunk and colorblind, it was just like, I don't know. And everyone else at the table was like, I don't know. Does it go this way, this way? And I'm trying to think about like color theory and all that. Is that what he wants? Is that color theory that he wants? And, like everyone at the table, there was like the monk, the psionic, the bard, the barbarian, the warlock. All of us were just like, we don't know, and we. I think that's when I stopped drinking at the table. At that point, I was just like drinking a Coke and just being like, I don't understand what's going on here. And it took so long. So long. It took. It took 2.5 hours to figure out one goddamn puzzle. And it wasn't our own group. It wasn't our own goddamn group that figured, like, right before that we had, like, D5e Sphinx that was like, hey, if you are in trouble, I will come help you. We had to call on the Sphinx to answer the question for us. Because we couldn't figure out what the fuck was the right order those colors needed to be. There was, like, goddamn 8 colors with 9 places to put them, and I was just like, the amount of possibility, like, how many did you think? Why was it so he found it in probably a friggin' riddle book for like 9-year-olds, but you know, I don't know if you've been around like drunk college students. We don't know much better than fucking 9-year-olds. I was just like, what is happening? What do we need to do? And it was one of those moments where I was just like, I don't know. I gave up like at the 1.5 hour mark. I was just like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just going to look through this book and try and figure out more about my class, because at that point I was still pretty new and didn't know what to do at all. And there was just so many times where I was just like, I don't know. And it was funny. We had a great time. I think we left around 4 a.m. and then we went back to playing the next day. Oh man, it was great. It was awesome, and I still remember that, and that's the reason why I don't drink and play D&D anymore. But it's definitely a fun game that I wish that more people would play. It is understandable. It is a game. It's a game that definitely requires at least a little bit of money. Like, though, if you just want to be a player and not the dungeon master, you really only need one book, and that's the Player's Handbook. And I would just recommend doing 5th edition, easy right off the bat. It's only costs like $49.95 US without tax. I think with tax it's like $55 to buy this. So it's a little bit expensive. It's almost as much as a new game, but you can play this over and over again, and you have so many fun times. I got bored one day when I first got this book, and I put all the different tabs in for sticky notes to just be able to easily flip to a page. But yeah, great game. If you're the dungeon master, you also have to buy pretty much you have to buy this, the monster manual, and the dungeon master's guide. So it's a little bit more expensive if you want to be the dungeon master or the DM or game master. And if you try playing D&D and you don't like it, there's plenty of other tabletop RPGs. I've only really played Dungeons and Dragons. I do own the 2nd edition books for Pathfinder, which I haven't been able to find a game for. And I started buying the books right before COVID hit. And I was just like, well, I can't find anyone to play with anymore. And my main computer that I use to do most of everything is on the fritz. I need to buy a new one, which sucks so much. I was just like, yeah, I'll just buy. Beginning of 2020, I was like, I'm going to buy a new computer, and then everything went to shit. I was like, I can't buy a new computer. So yeah, that's a side point. This is nice. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I really do. Right now, I'm playing in a game. I'm playing a fighter. Great, just an Echo Knight fighter. Just going in, summoning an echo of myself, and they're fighting, and I'm fighting. It's great. I will probably make more videos about Dungeons and Dragons. Probably not as many maybe equal to the amount of videos that I do about manga. I do have a few others. Next week's video will definitely not be about Dungeons and Dragons, but I love Dungeons and Dragons. I want more people to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I wish that I had more time to play Dungeons and Dragons. So, yeah, that was just me rambling on for a good 15 or so minutes or so, whatever, about D&D. And I'm not probably going to edit too much about this, because it's not, like, D&D is great. I will say one other thing. If you're a weeb playing D&D, don't make it cringy. Please, for the love of God, don't make it cringy. I've seen so many horror stories online about how this DM just made it so bad and he was just a really bad weeb. Or how this player just wanted to build a harem like they've seen in X anime or X manga. I'm just like, dudes, don't do that. Don't. You'll make people think that we're odd. I mean, we are odd, but not that odd. So, yeah, just, if you're going to play D&D, don't make it cringy. That is all I'm asking. Yeah. So, well, I've been the Bearded Otaku. This has been me rambling on about a random topic, which is D&D. I want more people to play it. And if no one likes this video, I'm alright with that. If you did like this video, like it. If you have played Dungeons and Dragons before, do it. If you've wanted to play D&D before, I don't know, put it in the comments. Maybe someone else wants to play D&D. Get a group together. Though, if you vet each other first in case that they're weird. I mean, if they are weird and you're alright with that weird, then go ahead. But if not, just be careful. If you like my videos, hit subscribe and see more. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just a fun thing that I wanted to talk about because I woke up too early and I couldn't think of didn't want to do too much research on a video. So, yeah, that's been it. I'm gonna get up and walk away. Have a nice day, by the way. And I really hope that you've had a nice day and have a nice week going forward. Goodbye.